All right. So let's see if I can fix this light one more time. That's a bit dramatic. We'll put it back up. I got some new studio features here. So I'm trying to mess around with them and see how it all works out when when I'm actually doing things. So here we are, and we are at the top of the hour here, so I'm going to get started. So hello everybody, and welcome to the next exciting week of learning how to play bridge. Today we are going to be talking about takeout doubles. There's going to be the classic takeout double, the reason why we use it, and the exceptions. So let's get right into it. So, for today, we're going to be introducing doubles first, and then we're going to talk about takeout double examples, and then responding to a takeout double, and then other uses for one. So, first things first, what is a double? Well, it is going to be that red card with the X on it. Whether or not you've talked about it before, that is A-okay. Let's talk about what doubles specifically are. Now, doubles are going to be a card that affects the scoring. So what it does is if you are playing in a doubled contract and you go down, well, now the penalty is increased. So if you've ever been defending and you're like, man, this is or declaring and you're like, this is really silly. Like if I go down, they only get 50 points or I only get 50 points depending on where you are. You can increase that penalty by using a double. So let's look at some examples. So normally when you're non-vulnerable, if you beat them one trick, you'll get 50 points. But if you double them, now you'll get 100 points. If you beat them two tricks, normally that would be 100, but now it's 300. If you beat them 150, boom, it's 500. So the scores keep getting bigger and bigger, and this is why it can sometimes be dangerous if you are deciding to get into a live auction and you don't have a lot of points, because you don't want to get doubled and end up going down 2 or 3 tricks when your opponents can just make like 2 hearts. Now, there's also the risk that if you double your opponents and they do make their contract, well, they're going to get a bigger score instead. So, for example, if you are playing in 2 diamonds and you make it when you are non-vulnerable, that's only 90 points. When you're non-vulnerable but doubled, it's 180. If you're in 2 hearts making, when you're non-vulnerable, 110, but non-vulnerable doubled, 470. You get a game bonus for that. I'm not going to get into the rationale for why these are the scores, but these are just some of the examples of what those scores could look like. And so being doubled at like a low level, it can a lot of times be beneficial to your side as long as you keep your nerve about you and you're able to actually make that contract. So let's take a look at an example. Your opponents bid themselves up to 6 no trump and you are holding this hand. You've got 2 aces there. What should you be doing here? Well, you should be throwing a double on the table. You definitely want to double them because you know you're going to be beating them. You know that they are not going to make 6 no trump because they won't be able to take 12 tricks, especially if you are on lead. So you've got those 2 aces, you know for sure, your opponents are not making 6 no trump. So what are we supposed to do when we're at lower levels though? Because it doesn't really make as much sense to use a penalty double at a low level. So at a lower level, we like to use takeout doubles and a variety of other doubles. So what exactly do we use doubles for at low levels? Well, first and foremost, takeout, and we're going to talk a lot about that in just a minute. Sometimes we also use it for showing support. So because a double is another tool that we can use that to show our partner something about our hand, even if we aren't going to use it as a takeout double because it doesn't make sense to, or to use it as a penalty double, again, because it doesn't make sense to. So we can use it to show support. Sometimes people will use doubles to differentiate between a good raise and a competitive raise. So you'll double instead of actually raising your partner, and this is going to show something different. And then a lot of times against no trump in particular, people will use the double as a purely conventional bid. So the double will show that you have I don't know, the majors, for example. So one no trump double, this could be showing that you have the majors. For me, it shows 4 of a major and a longer minor. People play it a wide variety of ways, though, and there's a lot more versions of doubles. So let's talk about what specifically is a takeout double. So often you'll have a hand where you can't overcall because you don't have a 5-card suit or a 6-card suit. You don't have an overcall in your hand, but you do have opening values. So you have like 12, 13, 14 high card points, and you want to tell your partner, hey, I have stuff over here, but I just don't really have a good overcall available. And so now we've developed the takeout double because it is meant to be taken out. It is not meant to be left in like it would if we were penalizing our opponents. If we're penalizing them, we want our partner to leave that double in, and then we'll actually get that penalty if they go down in their contract. So let's talk about what specifically we are looking for a takeout double. First and foremost, doubles can only be used if your opponent made the last bid. So this is especially true for takeout doubles, but this is just a logistics side of things. Your opponent has to make a bid in order for you to use a double. You can't double your partner because it would be way too cheap to be able to double your partner in a contract that you know they're going to make. So your opponent has to make the last bid. And then in general, you're showing that you have shortness in the suit that was bid. So you're showing, like, for example, if your opponent opened diamonds, you're showing that you have shortness in diamonds, but that you are willing to play in any of the unbid suits. So you're willing to show that you have 3 or 4 cards in each of the other suits. So this would be spades, hearts, and clubs in my example where your opponent opened a diamond. And then also we need to have those opening values, so 12 or more high card points in general. Now obviously you can fudge this a little bit because you're allowed judgment in bridge. You're allowed to treat 11 counts or 10 counts depending on shape. You can still use that takeout double. So if you have more shape, you generally need less points to make a bid like this. So let's walk through a couple of examples here. So here our opponent opened 1 club, and we're holding a hand like this. We've got 13 high card points, we have a singleton club, we have 4 cards in each of the other suits. We are very willing to play in any of the suits except clubs, and we have values. So we want to encourage partner to bid, so to do this we would double. Our opponent opens 1 diamond. We would look at maybe a hand like this and we would make a takeout double. So we've got 12 high card points, we've got 4 cards in each of the other suits. We are willing to play in any suit but diamonds, and so if we double here, it is asking our partner to pick their favorite suit. Our opponent opens 1 heart. Well, here we go again. We've got 14 high card points. We've got a couple cards in every other suit. I keep showing classic takeout double examples, but you can obviously switch these cards up a little bit so that there's just 3 or 4 or maybe 5 cards in every other suit. Here, if maybe I had 4 spades and 5 clubs and 3 diamonds and 1 heart, I would still make a takeout double because we're not really super interested in introducing clubs right away. By doubling first, we're still leaving spades on the table. So our partner can bid 1 spade, and then we'll know that we have a spade fit. Now 1 more. Our opponent opens 1 spade, and we have a hand like this. We've got 14 high card points. We're 4, 4, 4, 1. And we have shortness in spades. We're willing to play in every other suit but spades. We have opening values and more. Now, you may notice that I didn't include any no trump openings here, and that's because it doesn't make a lot of sense to double a 1 no trump bid for takeout because there is no suit that's been bid. So that means that you would be showing willingness to play in all of the unbid suits, which is all of them. And that means that you have a balanced hand. So if you have a balanced hand and your opponent opened 1 no trump, you have nothing to say. You would much rather defend. So If you are thinking about using a takeout double over a one no trump opening, I would not recommend that. It's much better to use it to show values, or to show one of the conventional meanings that I mentioned before. So usually people will use the double of a one no trump opening bid either conventionally, or they will use it to show that they are interested in penalizing one no trump. So they have 16, 17 or more high card points. They have a strong hand and they're interested in penalizing. So now that we've looked at a couple of examples of what it looks like when we make a takeout double, let's talk about how we respond to a takeout double. So, let me pull up my little thing here. There we go. So now we're going to be looking at a couple of examples here. We're going to be thinking about, why that's wonky like that. That's okay. We'll move that up. So here, the auction thus far has gone a one club opening by North, a double by our partner East, pass to us. And we have this garbage hand. We only have 4 points. So some of you may be tempted to just pass. But remember, when partner makes a double here, they are not saying that they are penalizing one club. Instead, they are saying that they have shortness in clubs and they have interest in all of the other suits. So looking at our hand, we only have 4 high card points, nothing great here, but we do have 4 diamonds, so we can at least introduce diamonds. So the partner's asking us to pick our best suit outside of clubs, and we're going to do that. We're going to pick 1 diamond here. And that's where we would end up playing. And I guess I need to update my settings because I have it showing the wrong hands afterwards. But that is okay. All right, let's do the next one. So we have a 1 spade opening by North, a double by our partner East, pass to us. And here we have 7 high card points. We don't have anything good here. Now, we have an interesting hand because we really don't have a great hand. We only have 7 high card points. And we don't have a good suit. We do have a stopper in spades. Now, what I would recommend is if you are going to be responding in no trump, which would be an option here, I would be recommending somewhere closer to 8 to 10 high card points. And the reason why is sometimes when partner makes this takeout double, they're a little light on points. They have strength in terms of their shape, but they do not have so many points. So with that in mind, I would probably not bid 1 no trump, and instead I would bid my best suit, which would be clubs. So I would bid 2 clubs here, and that's where we would end up playing. So as you can see, partner does have about 14 high card points. Wouldn't have been bad for us to play in no trump, but it does look like clubs is a little bit safer. We only have the 1 stopper in spades. So a lot of times you either want multiple stoppers in spades or you want a bit of a stronger hand. Let's take a look at the next one. All right, so now we've had a 1 diamond opening by now South, and then a double by our lovely partner, pass to us. So we have this interesting hand. We have 5 high card points, nothing good here. I would just bid 1 spade, my best suit. Partner's asking me what my best suit is, I'm going to bid it. And that's where we're going to end. So partner here, this is a better example of when they don't have a lot of points. So here, partner's really quite broke. They only have 11 working high card points. They do have shortness in diamonds, but it is not enough for us to be confident that we would be making 1 no trump here. So even though that wasn't really on the cards for this table, or for this hand, for the last hand, we want to be cautious because they may have a hand like this. Now here, we get a little bit more spicy. So usually what you do is you make the lowest bid available to you. We still have a pretty weak hand. I would still probably stay pretty low with this one. But if our hand was a little bit better, maybe like 8, 9, 10 high card points, now we want to tell partner that we have a good hand. We have a good hand and we have 5 spades. So instead of just bidding 1 spade here, we could bid 2 spades if we have a hand with like 8 or 9 high card points. So here, we still only have 4 high card points. Even though we have the 5 spades, I'm still just going to start with a 1 spade bid here. So here, partner doesn't have a very good hand. It looks like we are probably right in the right spot. We're losing 2 hearts, 2 diamonds, 1 spade. So we're probably making 2 spades here. So either way would have been fine, but we didn't want to encourage partner to bid at all. And now we're going to look at it from the other side of the table. So here we have 15 high card points. We've got 15 high card points. We have 4 cards in each of the unbid suits. We have a singleton diamond. I'm going to start with a double. Now our partner bids 1 no trump. So now, because of the discussion we just had, that's going to be showing around 8 to 10 high card points. That's not really enough for us to be going anywhere. We might consider bidding 2 no trump to invite, but here we're really not quite strong enough, even though we do have 15 high card points. So we have a singleton jack of diamonds that's not really working for us. So with this hand, I would probably just pass and try to make 1 no trump. So partner's got us covered. They have a double stopper in diamonds, and then our jack of diamonds helps that out. But yeah, we don't really have a good, better place to play, and 1 no trump looks like the right spot. So here we've had a 1 diamond opening in front of us, and now we have more of that slightly off shape takeout double hand, where we have 14 high card points and we are 3, 4, 1, 5. So we have shortness in diamonds, we have length in all of the other suits, and even though we don't have exactly 4, 4, 4, 1, we do have a hand where we are interested in playing in one of the other suits and we have opening values. So we can start with a double here. Partner bids 1 no trump. Same idea. I would just pass again. So nothing too special. Let's continue. So now we have a 1 diamond opening by South, a double by our partner West, pass to us. And what are we supposed to do with this hand? Well, we have a stopper in diamonds. We've got 9 high card points. We're balanced. We don't have a good suit that we are strongly preferring. So with this hand, I would bid 1 no trump. Oh, and now our opponent came in with a 2 diamond bid. I don't really have anything to say to that, so I'm going to pass. Partner knows how many high card points I have, so seems like that's the best we could do. We didn't have a fit in a major, and the only fit that we have is in clubs, and it wasn't really strong enough to keep pushing on. Partner has a pretty light 12 count. Let's go through. This is actually a good point of discussion that I was actually just about to bring up. So before we do this hand, let's talk about this hand. So there are some other uses for the takeout double. Now the takeout double forces our partner to bid. So one other example of how the takeout double might get used is if you have a hand that is too strong to overcall. So thinking about it, when you overcall, this is not forcing. Partner is, or you are limited to around 17 high card points. So if you have a hand that is stronger than that, you want to take a stronger action. So the best way that we have to do that is to start with a double. This forces partner to bid. So they are going to be forced to bid, and we will be able to show our strength after that. So normally when we make a takeout double, we usually just pass partner's suit, or we raise them if we're a little bit stronger. We either pass or raise, nothing too special. But if instead we choose to overrule our partner's decision in which suit they have chosen, that should be setting off alarm bells for our partner. They should start thinking, okay, partner doesn't like spades, even though they said they were willing to play anywhere but diamonds. Why would they do that? Well, because they have a hand that was too strong to overcall. So, for example, you have a hand like this. We have 21 high card points, I believe. Yes, we have 21 high card points, and we have 6 hearts. We don't just want to overcall one heart because it's far too likely that partner is going to pass. So instead, what we want to do is we want to start with a double. We want to encourage partner to bid, and then we can overrule them. So one way that this might work is if they open one club, we would start with a double. Our opponent passes, and now our partner bids one diamond. Whatever, no big deal. They're just responding like normal. They don't know that we have this huge hand over here. So now they've responded one diamond, pass back to us. If we overrule them by bidding one heart or 2 hearts or maybe 2 clubs, we are indicating that we have a hand that was too strong to overcall. So here we would start by doubling and then rebidding hearts to show that we have that extra strength. Now, partner should realize that it's one of these types of hands versus a hand that I just have like 5 hearts and 4 diamonds and I just like my hearts better. Because I wouldn't overrule you in that instance. We have a fit, and who am I to tell you what your best suit is? If I really care that much about my suit, I should have just introduced it at the 1 level anyways. So here, by overruling the responder to the takeout double, we are showing that we have extra values. We are showing that we are interested in going to game. We have extra length. We have extra strength. We have 18 or more high card points. Partner, please tell me what else you have. Do you like hearts? Maybe you can raise, and then we can go from there. So let's go back to our example in Shark Bridge. Here's this. What's happening with this thing? Okay. So we'll just bring this down. That's fine. Okay, so here, our opponent opened one club in front of us, and we have a hand like that. We have 18 high card points. We have 6 hearts. We can't overcall one heart because if our partner passes, we will cry. So we don't want to do that. Instead, what we want to do is we want to start with a double. This forces partner to bid, and then here, they actually show us that they have extra strength. So like we were talking about before, the 2 spade bid, by jumping over 1 spade, they are now showing that they have extra strength. So they're showing that they probably have five good spades or a really good 4 card fit with us, and extra values. They have 8 or more high card points in general. If they had more of like 11, 12, or more high card points, they would probably start with a Q bid instead. They would bid 2 clubs as responder or advancer here. So here, our partner has shown that they have a really good hand with spades. Now, they don't know that we also have a really good hand, so we're going to tell them by bidding 3 hearts. Now, over this, our partner is like, well, that's great that you have hearts. I don't really have the best heart fit. Maybe we can instead play in no trump. So it sounds to me like they have shortness in hearts, they have good spades, they probably are fine in diamonds, and they have a club stopper. I also have a club stopper, and I think that 3 no trump is probably going to be the best place for us. So I can just pass here, and we can try to play that. So here they do have a stopper in clubs. In fact, they kind of have 2. They've got queen 10 fourth, and I have ace doubleton, and so we are looking really good for no trump here. Looks like hearts wasn't going to work out for us, but we did get to tell our partner that we have extra strength. We are going to game because they've shown strength and I've shown strength. Because over the double, partner may have 0 high card points. You forced them to bid. So here, by them showing those extra values right away, we actually know, without having to hear anything more from them, that we're not stopping below game. We've introduced a new suit, and now we are playing in no trump. So let's see if I have any more examples here. Oh, I do. That's exciting. Okay, so we have a one club opening by South, a double by our lovely partner. And then North has come in with a two club response. So here, some of you may have been tempted to just still bid two spades, and I would agree. We know that partner has a good holding in each of the other three suits. They have shortness in clubs. So that doesn't really help our queen here, but it does sort of add value to the rest of our hand. We know that at most we're losing two clubs, which we were going to be doing anyways, but probably more likely one or zero clubs. So we can definitely start by bidding two spades. Now this would also show extra values because we are not forced to bid anymore. Our opponent came in with an advance, and so we are not forced to bid over the double anymore because our opponent came back into the auction. Now, if we bid, we're actually showing values. So our partner was like, heck yes, I love this. And they bumped us up to 4, and then we would try to make it. So let's see what partners got here. Looks like we're going to be losing a spade, possibly a heart, a club, and possibly a diamond. So we have 3 finesses, and we need just one of them to work in order for us to make this contract. So I think I have one more here. Let's go through this one, and then I will take any questions. So here we've got 12 high card points. We have 3 spades, 4 hearts, 5 diamonds. We have all the other suits except clubs. We can start with a double. And now our partner actually passed. Now this is one of the few times where you would end up passing a takeout double. This is called converting it into a penalty double. West sees their hand and they know, hey, I've got 6 clubs over here. So we've got 6 clubs over here, and we are interested in penalizing them. They also have some points to back them up. So one thing that I would really recommend is you do not want to pass takeout doubles except when you have 6 cards in your opponent's suit and you're pretty confident you're going to be beating them. You're going to need like 5 or 6 cards. You need a lot of strength to be able to beat them, especially at the 1 level. Because in order to beat them at the 1 level, how many tricks do we have to take? 7. And that's making their contract. So here we are taking a risk because if they make 1 club, well, now they get the doubled score as opposed to just the regular score. So by letting them play in 1 club doubled, we are taking a bit of a risk, but here with our huge club holding and our good diamonds, and hopefully partners got some points over there, we're expecting to beat this contract, and so I think this is a very reasonable pass. But notice that our partner here actually has values. They do not have a weak hand. If you have a weak hand, you absolutely need to respond to the double. So that is our surmising point here. And then I'm going to bring us back here, turn this little screen off. And then I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you for coming and hanging out with me. And it looks like Tracy has a question for me. Hello, Tracy. If West passes and East doubles, is it the same meaning? So I think we are talking about this one, but maybe this previous one. Let's see what happens here. If West passes and East doubles. So we doubled here. And then, oh no, not this one. Oh, I think this was the one with the 2 spades. So 1 club, double, 2 clubs. So if West passes and then East doubles instead. So, oh yes, okay, so if it goes like 1 club, pass, pass, double, this is also a takeout double. Yep, so you can use a takeout double, and we call that the balancing seat. So a lot of times you can even do that with a weaker hand, like 8 or 9 high card points. And the reason why is you're protecting your partner for when they have a hand where maybe they have like 14 high card points, but they don't have a good bid. So if it goes like 1 club, pass, pass, double, you might have a fairly weak hand, but you have some shape. So like, again, the 3, 4, 5, 1, 4, 4, 4, 1, something like this, where you have shape, but you just don't have You don't necessarily need the extra values. So if you have 8 or 9 high card points in some good shape, I would probably still be doubling there. But that's a good question. All right, I'll go back to my little thing here. Bloop. Bloop. All right. Well, thank you everybody for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoyed and learned something. And let me know if you have any questions. I will still be hanging out and checking out the chat for a little bit. And until next time, happy bridging!